Brain rot was named the 2024 Oxford Word of the Year, noticing 230% increase in its usage between 2023 and 2024. What is brain rot? What does it include? What are the symptoms of brain rot? Which generations are more inflicted by brain rot? And how can we as parents and educators stop brain rot? So watch this episode of the Mockingbird Show where I talk about brain rot, its symptoms, its effects. But before we move ahead, I would like you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so as yet. And let us now delve into this very, very interesting and a topic that has caught the attention of parents, educators, mental health experts, and others. What is brain rot? Brain rot is a term that describes the negative effects of mindlessly consuming low quality data or addictive online content, which eventually leads to brain saturation, mental health problems, and much more. Overconsumption of such trivial material reduces concentration, it reduces memory, and it creates a lot of chaos in the life of those involved in it. So let us now move to how do we indulge in brain rot. One way is mindlessly scrolling through social media like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube channels, and scrolling for hours and hours. We keep, looking into it without even realizing how much time has passed by. Then there is doom scrolling, where we are looking for negative online content. That kinds of, gives our minds a pervasive satisfaction to look at negative online news or negative online content. It also includes consumption of meaningless data like the memes and watching an endless stream of videos one after the other. That kind of fogs our mind. What are the symptoms of brain rot? One is memory loss, lack of concentration, confusion, mood swings, inability to take decisions, trouble with coordination, difficulty in communication, trouble with motor skills, a lot of speech difficulty, and again, difficulty in managing one's emotion and inability to think critically. So just imagine what over scrolling leads to, what actually this whole impact of brain rot is, the effect of such kind of mindless interaction in the digital space. Which generations are the most impacted by the brain rot? Though the term was first used as a long back as in 1854 by Henry David Thoreau in his book Walden, the word has now gained popularity in 2023 and 2024 when we have seen that the Gen Zers and the Gen Alpha has been indulging in a lot of mindless scrolling in the social media platforms, and that has raised concern with the educators, parents, and the mental health experts. With the increase in the meme culture within Gen Zers and the Alpha, the mental preoccupation or obsession have led to mental saturation where the brain feels fogged and the brain feels drained and rotted. The meme culture is the breeding ground for brain rot. Memes are basically, they're very catchy. They're made in a way to attract your attention, and they have certain culture and touch points where they influence certain generations. So it is seen that the Gen Zers and the Alpha who were born from 2010 onwards, they have a kind of a catch with the memes, and they are the people who are really glued to these memes or the content, online content, which is there in the digital platform. And it is seen that The generation Alpha is the first generation to grow up completely in a digital world. They have an access to smartphones, laptops, and all kind of digital exposure, which is a very integral part of their lives. They engage in social media platforms like Insta, TikTok, YouTube channel, and their constant engagement with repetitive, meaningless content saturates their brain. The impact of the digital culture on mental health has been humongous. It has raised concerns with parents, early childhood educationists, with educators, and also mental health experts, because we can see that these children suffer from a lot of anxiety, mental health problems, they have fear, and they also want to be or to stay abreast with the latest that is happening in the meme world, and so they face all these kind of mental challenges. So it is time that we educators, we as parents, the mental health experts, take this up very seriously and try to protect the generation from actually getting into these very hazardous mental health issues that accompany brain rot. And I would like to talk about one of these, YouTube channels called the Skibidi Toilet.
Skibidi dum dum dum, yes yes. Skibidi dum dum nim nim. Skibidi dum dum dum, yes yes. Skibidi dum dum nim nim.
I think most of you must have seen or known or heard about it. So these are these shorts and YouTube videos that are that have these very negative content that creates the vibe that attracts the youngsters, and at the same time these are really not recommended for children, not recommended for anybody. So what can we do to stop it? Number one, digital detox. Staying away mindfully from all digital platforms for some specific period, maybe a few hours, maybe a few days. So digital detox helps you stay more grounded, feel more connected to yourself, and be in more control of your emotions, be in more control of your own lives. Limit screen time. I had my previous videos which you can see in my channel, where I talked about how we can reduce screen time and what are the best practices that we can follow in order to encourage our children to reduce screen time. We can delete those apps which are needless, which are there in our phone, which we keep using and to scroll on, and those apps can be reduced. We should allow our children to be very active physically, because another reason for brain rot is lack of physical activity, lack of good nutrition. So all of this, and lack of sleep. So the more there is physical activity, the more the child feels exhausted and they can sleep. And on the other hand, the more they are in the digital platforms, they do not get sleep, they are deprived of sleep, and they're deprived of physical activity, and as a result, the symptoms of brain rot like memory loss and all of it that I've mentioned earlier in this video are more, it becomes, the child gets more prone to all of it. So we have to make our children physically more active by involving them in activities. Also, we need to prioritize mindfulness as parents, as educators. If we are mindful, our children will copy what we do because they follow examples. So we need to be very mindful, and we need to teach our children to be mindful in their own possible ways, where they can stay away from these kind of very addictive material that attracts one. It is, even for the elders, it is relevant, because I have felt that when I keep scrolling a reel, I keep doing it for a long time, and I have no track of time whatsoever. And we need to get enough rest, we need to have healthy food and a lot of physical activity, like I said. So that is going to do away with the brain rot issue that has raised concerns globally, and more so for children who are the Gen Zers, who are the Alpha Gen, and of course the Beta. The first Beta child was just born in January 2025 in Manipur. So even the beta generation is one generation that is going to, again, get into the completely digital space of AI and all of it. So we need to be very cautious how we are taking our children forward. So keep watching the Mockingbird Show, and we are coming up with our interviews. So I'll be starting the interview series soon. So stay tuned, stay connected, and be a part of the Mockingbird Show. See you guys. See you again in our next show. Waiting until next week.